There guys, this is Malorian and this will be a Warcaster review. This is where we look at a caster, we're going to be talking about its stats, its abilities, and then some more of the tricks and tips to it. Today we're going to circle Ouroboros and we're going to be talking about Kromac. Not Kromac 2, we're going to be talking about the first one, Kromac 1. And this guy, he's really good. You don't see a lot of them now because there's some other casters in Circle like Ravenous that people like a lot more, but definitely a good caster to know about. So let's just jump right in. He's speed 6, so not too bad there. Strength 6, mat 6, rat 4, which doesn't matter because he doesn't have a gun. Defense 15, armor 14, so a little bit under the curve. Command 9, and then he's going to have Fury 7, so the Fury 7 is pretty damn good. Then he has 2 weapons. So, I mean, it's a weapon, it's like ×2, so he gets 2 attacks with it. And it's called Dusk and Dawn, and it has reach, and it is a POW 11. So, doesn't sound too good, except that he has 2 forms. And so, I might as well talk about that now, and we'll talk about the stats of his other form. So, that's his human form, and one of the rules that's very important with him is he has something called Altered States. And what it does, at the start of your maintenance phase, choose a form for this model to take, either as human or as beast. If it changes form, replace the model in play with its alternate form. So you actually get 2 models for it. One that's like human, and one, that's a big old beast guy. Effects on the replaced model are applied to the alternate form. You decide which form this model starts the game in. So every turn you get to choose which way you go. Sounds really good, right? What is the beast form? Well, this is how it changes there. Speed is still 6, strength goes up to 9, mat goes up to 8, rat still doesn't matter, defense is still the same, armor goes up to 17, so all of a sudden you're above the curve. That's where your armor and your defense are equal to about 30. He's now 32. His command goes down to 3, so that's kind of not so great. And he now also causes terror. He always has Pathfinder in either versions, but now he causes terror as well. And due to his increased strength, now he has 2 POW 14s. So those are a little bit more serious. Now, why do you not just go for this beast form all the time? Well, here's why. First of all, another good thing about the beast form is that he can jump. So after using its normal movement to make a full advance, but before performing an action, you may place this model anywhere completely within 5 inches. So he gets even faster where, normally if you charge, you add 3 inches. Well, now you get to move and hop your 5. So that's really a threat of, moving 6, hopping 5 to 11, reach for 13. So pretty good there. It's also good for jumping over lines, stuff like that. But he also has Beast Mind, and this is kind of a real problem with the beast form. This model cannot upkeep spells and cannot cast non-animus spells. So that's the reason why you don't want to be in beast mode all the time, is because when we get to his spells, he has really good spells, and you might want to cast those. So it's really only doing this when you want to really boost up that armor, or if you want to go in for the kill. Now the last rule we didn't talk about was beast out for his human form, and in this one here, when this model suffers damage from enemy attack during the opponent's turn while in human form, immediately after the attack is resolved, this model can spend 1 fury to take beast form. Replace the human model with the beast mode model. Effects on the replaced model are applied, blah, 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 blah. And so really what that means, if you're all of a sudden taking a bunch of low power attacks, you're like, wow, I better switch over to beast form to get that +3 armor, you can do that. So I don't find that this always really applies. A lot of times it's better to save that 1 fury to transfer instead. But let's just say it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. There's a bunch of POW 10s, a bunch of gun mages, pew, 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 shooting you up. You might want to go into beast form just to add that 3 armor, because that can be a pretty big deal. Alright, let's actually get to his spells, because that's some of the best stuff about this guy. First one is Bestial. This one is cost 3, it's a self, goes out the range of his control, so 14 inches out. And what it says is that while in this model's control area, enemy models cannot cast spells or be used to channel spells. So you just shut down all this casting. And whereas some other models do this too, usually it doesn't stop arc nodes. This stops arc nodes too. So this is a huge, huge spell. So that if you ever want to say, no, you're Veil 2, you're whatever, I don't want to deal with your spells, you cast Bestial, and it's just this massive zone of no magic. He also has an Invulnerable Resolve. It's a cost 2, range 6 upkeep. Target friendly faction model gets +2 armor and fearless. So there's a couple of places where you like this, but either way, an armor buff is always nice. Some of the places I see it used is on Skinwalkers. If you want something you can get in and really jam, that makes them armor 20 engaged, pretty good. Also nice on your beasts, like on Getorix. So that's normally where you cast this. If you ever needed to, you could always just cast it on Kromac himself too. So in beast form, he's armor 19. That's pretty good. Rift. This is a cost 3, range 8, AoE 4. That's a POW 13. The AoE stays in play and it's also rough terrain. This one doesn't always come into play, but it's really nice to have. You can be using this for his spell assassination, which we'll get to. So, I mean, that part would be really good. Plus, if you're up against armies that don't have Pathfinder, this is also great. You shoot the front model. Also, there's a big, huge thing, a rough terrain, massive deal. Or you can hit a heavy. Let's say there's a Khador heavy coming at you. You just hit them with this, and yeah, they're not really going anywhere. Now, Kromac doesn't really want to be up there doing this, but he can. You know, he can go up, you can kill some guys, sprint away, or of course you have your Gallows Groves too. He really likes the Gallows Grove to go up there and do its stuff. He also has Warpath. This is another big one for him, and probably the only reason why he wouldn't be casting Bestial. Warpath is cost 2, it's range self, control area again, and then when a friendly faction model in this model's control area destroys one or more enemy models with a melee or ranged attack during its activation, immediately after the attack is resolved, one war beast in this model's battle group that is in its control area can advance up to 3 inches. A war beast can only advance once per turn as a result of Warpath, and this is a really big deal. Actually, before I explain why, I'm going to get into the next spell, because this could be a big reason why. If nothing else, one reason why you could like Warpath in Circle is that, again, we talked about Sprint. Normally with Sprint, you get a full move back after. Well, with this, your heavy can go in, or whoever, kill a bunch of stuff, Warpath back, Sprint back, and you're way far away and really hard to retaliate against. Well, here's this other spell. Wild Aggression. It's a cost 3, range 6 upkeep that says target friendly living war beast in this model's battle group can run, charge, or slam for free without being forced, and it gains boosted melee attack rolls. This is huge. The reason why is the Stalker. So the Stalker, Warpwolf Stalker, has Berserk. And so what you'll do with this is put this on your Stalker, and you can do now 2 things with it in Warpath. One, you go in, you berserk, you know, you're charged in for free, you get boosted to hits, you're Stalker, so you're pretty damn strong, and you just go wham, 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 kill a bunch of guys, Warpath back 3, sprint back 3, and see ya guys, thanks for the free kills. The other way you can do it is that if you're against infantry and there's like 2 lines, you go inside and kill, 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 Warpath even closer, kill, 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 and then you can always sprint back too. But, I mean, you can kill an entire unit in one go with this for the cost of 0 fury. You charge for free, all these are boosted to hits, so unless they're getting tough or something like that, yeah, this does rather well. Wild Aggression can be used in other models too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Wild Aggression on a Getorix or something like that, but it's really the Stalker that gets the most from this. Of course, you want something that can get out the most attacks, so if you had a different model, say like the Riphorn or the Feral Warpwolf, something with 3 attacks, it could still get a lot of action out of this, and maybe in a peace trade, that's what you might do, right? You might send in one of those lights first, Wild Aggression, try and kill off a bunch of stuff, and then save the Stalker for later. You can do the whole peace trade thing there, but yeah, definitely it's on the Stalker that says, wow, whole units just disappearing. Also, you got to remember with Warpath, that's not only that, it's also just extending your threat, right? If you have a War Beast that's out of charge range, it's not in stone range to be ported up with the shifting stones, well, if you could trigger off Warpath or something else, it can also be a ranged attack. So even though it sounds like he really wants to run a melee-based army, he loves range as well. So if something shoots first, kills something, your Stalker gets the Warpath forward. It can't really do the other tricks we talked about, but it's actually getting in there. And that could be very scary. It could also be a thing, too, where like the opponent isn't really worried because there's nothing currently in the shifting stones, and then you Warpath into the shifting stones and get moved up. Yeah, that could be a good gotcha that can be coming at you. Alright, so the last thing here is his feat. He can suffer up to 7 damage points, and for each damage he suffers, Kromac gains 1 fury point. He can also use this to automatically go into beast form as well. So really what this really comes down to is he's going to have a lot of fury to deal with. He is going to be able to go through his initial 7, pop feat, take 7 damage, get 7 fury back again, and then have that all to go again. So there's a couple of different ways you can use this. One, you go out there, you cast your spells, you do all you can, and then you pop feat so you still have a camp, right? So maybe it's like cast a spell here, do these upkeeps, pop feat, do a rift, and I'm still camping on 3. So that's one way of doing it. Another way, we talked about the rift assassination. So the rift costs 3. So you can cast this 4 times. You know, rift, when you hit, boost damage, pop feat, get another 7, you know, rift, boost one of those as well. It can be pretty good and get all those rifts out there. Hell, maybe sometimes if you really need a control area and get all that rough terrain down, maybe you're popping feat just for that and getting rifts all over the place. His other thing is melee, right? He can go to beast form, he can go up, he can jump over, start making all of his attacks with his fury. Oh, I didn't kill you with all those attacks? Pop feat, get a whole bunch more attacks. So he is a very strong assassination game. That distance of the 13 inches we talked about, where he gets to move up 6, hop 5, has reach, that 13 inches is very important. You should always be measuring that because you have a 14-inch control area, and knowing that at any time I can hop over and kill that. And it is pretty powerful. So in the end, that is really Kromac. What does he like to take? Usually it's a lot of beasts. He likes to take a lot of beasts, like the normal thing there is going to be Getorix and Double Stalker and a Gorax. That's normally what the base is, but there is different ways you could do it. Clearly, if you want to get the most from your spells, you really do want to have a lot of beasts, but infantry can work out well too. Like we said, maybe you want to have some blood trackers to really be triggering off those warpaths. Maybe you also want infantry just to kind of bog things down, to kind of help that jam. So your beast can go in, kill some stuff, sprint back, and then you can make sure they can't get to your beasts. Or like we said, maybe you want skinwalkers so that you can also have something that's in there. Now that's a problem because of scenario. Kromac likes to really do a lot of hit and run. I want to come in, hit your stuff, sprint and warpath away, and if you're always going away, maybe you're not contesting, and so if you're not contesting, you need something that will. So that could be some feral guys to run up just to hold the zones. That could be the skinwalkers with the +2 armor. Any of these things, that something to be in the middle, you still need that. And then really all the rest, beasts and beasts and beasts. You know, I've run it with 5 heavies and it works out great. So either way, that's Kromac. Very good model, very good caster. Lots of fun to play too. That's another big thing with him, is that you just get to do a lot of cool stuff, a lot of movement all over the place, a little warpaths, and when you want to, just be that dick that says, nope, you can't cast any spells. So Kromac, have fun with him. Now you know what to look out for if you're up against him, and thanks for watching. Bye.